Hi, I am a little nervous to give this video, so actually, I think that's my signal that it's time. I have a few points that I'm going to bring up, and yeah, we're just going to work our way through it. So let's begin. First of all, for those of you who do not know a bit of my background, um, I am a mother without her children, and this video is dealing with the grief and the loss of what my journey to my hysterectomy and life after my hysterectomy has become. It is now the year 2025, and I had my hysterectomy in my late 20s. I am now 40. I am now 46. In a few days, I will be 47. As I am approaching 50, there has been a lot of challenges that I have overcome in my life and some that I have not. Dealing with the grief and the loss of my kids, I have not dealt with well. Um, and in some forms, I have dealt with it the best way I could. The loss of my fertility and being placed in menopause earlier than I had anticipated led me to believe that I would be less desirable for my husband. Um, Although at that point in time, I had not reacquainted myself with my husband. So, even in that point, I still had faith that things would turn out for the best. This video is about a faith walk. While I was in my adolescence and becoming a woman, um, I dealt with a great deal of pain and cramping. I dealt with certain individuals that I looked up to that when I would share that I was in pain, callously disregarded me, although I don't think they understood the extent of when I said I was in pain, what that felt like, and perhaps I should have advocated better for myself. I did not know, and I felt the treatment to be that I wasn't quote unquote woman enough to handle an idle cramp that I would be dealing with most of my life. The cramping got worse per year and per month. I would experience it. Um, and I tolerated it until my mother said that I was paler than normal and took me to the doctor. And we found out that the out of control fibroid had grown, taken over my uterus, and had attached to other organs. These organs were now being drained, and it was actually time to do emergency um, hysterectomy. So that's what we did in order to save my life, prolong my life. Um, there was a slight opportunity, if I had gotten pregnant at that moment, that I might have been able to carry it to a premature term. With a lot of meditation and a lot of prayer, I felt, and the fact that at that point I had not met my husband again, um, I felt my survival was the best course of action, and I've dealt with that guilt over childbearing to self preservation. I have handled that guilt with as much grace as I can, but trust me, the trauma is real. And I have gone to therapy then, and I am back in therapy now because other circumstances have come that have rallied a crisis moment for me, hence the video. I want to let my future self know I am well. The triggering crisis is not as dire as it was, although the circumstances surrounding does mimic a death of some kind. I talked earlier about living in a fullness of your faith, in the fullness of your life, your truth, your purpose. I would be remiss if I did not understand I'm standing on the shoulders of scarred ground and things that remind me of that scarred ground does not mean I have to relive that pain, although the circumstances seem to want me to. I will not. I've already lived that pain. So I'm going to deal with the relevant circumstances of the present. Presently, I am working through disappointment. I am working through grief. I am working through anger and anguish. I am living in grace. I'm living in a true sense of there are trials and tribulations that make us stronger. There are trials and tribulations that make us aware. And my awareness and my strength have given me insight to goals that I want to achieve. So I'm here hoping that the life obstacles and the life challenges that anyone goes through will only help bolster your faith towards a happier outcome of life, a more relishing experience of life. Cherish it. Cherish it. I've dealt with a lot of sadness recently, and I've just given into some of the sadness to the point that it has scared some of my support system. I can't save them from that. I can't save them from understanding the woes that I have actually endured, and that I gave myself some moments to just give into some of that. But understand it was a moment. And once it was over, I was going to return to what I need to do, like I'm doing now. I am stronger than I was yesterday. And I look forward to what tomorrow will bring. Today, I will honestly say I feel rested, I feel desired, I feel fulfilled, and I feel encouraged to move forward. And that's what I'm doing. Moving forward to a more complete version of Carmen. That's all I'm trying to do. I hope you find a space to give yourself rest when you're overwhelmed, a space to give yourself peace with whatever has happened. Just give yourself peace and then handle it the way you need to handle it. But give yourself the space to feel the peace. And live in your truth, the fullness of your truth, and all the blessings that your truth provide. Live in it, enjoy it, allow it to give you the courage to move forward, allow it to propel you, allow it to nurture you, allow it to hug you. This is my video. If I was to talk to myself when I had my hysterectomy, if I was to talk to that version of Carmen, your dreams are not in vain. Hardship happens sometimes, just sometimes. Those hardships provide you the strength to get through today's challenges. Because had I not gone through that, I would not really understand that my legacy and my father's legacy will continue. Just not quite in the form I thought. Be kind to yourself and be gentle. It's precious goods. We must be kind. We must be gentle. Breathe. Know and understand joy of the Lord is real. And if it's not in a good space, in a solid, complete state, a finished state, Jesus is not done with it yet. And when the carpenter is at work, let the carpenter work. So, update. At the moment, it is now 11:15 a.m., November 18th, 2025, and you are sitting in a hotel in Sydney, Australia. You just finished a call with your mother, checking on her and seeing how her day was. You sent a note to your sister, and you checked on some friends. You were able to check in and do a spiritual update with highlight at Elevation Church online, and you were able to write and write sincerely some truths, some fantasies, some joy, some pain, but you were writing. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, future Carmen. Thank you, past Carmen. Now, since it's a happy Tuesday, let's make sure it's a happy Wednesday. I'll talk to you soon. Get to work.